Yes, we are live now.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is Dr. Chandrasekhar Dikshit, orthopedic surgeon, joint replacement surgeon and orthoscopic surgeon, currently working in Jupiter Hospital, Baner, Pune. Recently we have celebrated a week of uh, from 10th May to 16th May as Women's Health Week, and 20th May being the menstrual hygiene day. We thought of taking this opportunity and trying to educating you, particularly women, about their health in perimenopausal and postmenopausal women. We took this opportunity and we asked in society about the questions which they have in their mind about uh, health problem in perimenopausal and postmenopausal women. Many of them are concerned about osteoporosis. Osteoporosis, what is osteoporosis, what is not, what should we do? Many people asked that I am 52-year female working in this society, working as a banker. We have these issues. What should we do for osteoporosis? What are the things we should know about osteoporosis? So we thought of gathering all those questions and we came up with some common questionnaire. We have live with us Mrs. Kajal, who is marketing team head, who will be asking me those questions, and we'll try to solve each and every query through a common questionnaire, and let's understand what is actual osteoporosis is. So the first and foremost question what we got is, what is osteoporosis? Many medical terminologies are combination of one or two words. Osteoporosis is osteo and porosis. Osteo means bone and porosis means the condition where things is getting porous, which is called as osteoporosis. So your bone is getting more porous. In medical terminology, what we say, there is decreased bone mass volume or decreased bone density. Many people say that only calcium is decreased. Many people say that its vitamin D is decreased. Many people say that overall volume is decreased. So what is right is decreased bone mass or decreased bone mineral density. So in total there is decreased bone mass. When we know that density is called as mass upon volume, there is decrease in mass which causes osteoporosis, along with deficiency of vitamin D and calcium and mineralization. Both all are responsible for osteoporosis. So if we see the structure of bone, can you show this? This is a normal bone. Rotate नहीं करायचं. This is a normal bone which is consist of a matrix over which the calcium and other minerals are deposited, and in patients with osteoporosis this both matrix as well as calcium and other minerals are decreased. So this is called as osteoporosis. So what the next question what we have?
Yes, hello sir, good afternoon. This is Kajal Kaushik here. And sir, we have some set of questions as you
Yes.
said. We understand कि osteoporosis क्या होता है सर now. Just अभी ये हम जानना चाहते हैं कि कौन से ऐसे पेशेंट्स होते हैं जिनको ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस का रिस्क हो सकता है सर?
ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस का रिस्क बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स को रहता है. द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज एज. दोज पेशेंट्स हु आर गेटिंग एल्डर, जिनका उम्र बढ़ता जाता है, उन सब पेशेंट्स को ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस का रिस्क रहता है. द सेकंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट risk factor for getting osteoporosis is gender. The female gender do get more risk of getting osteoporosis. As we know, females are the only person in the mankind who has got the boon of reproduction, those people can only reproduce, not a man can reproduce. They do get some problem because of this bone. As age advances, uh, age advances, in females particularly, menopause occurs or their period stops, and that is the area where they get more chances of osteoporosis. ऐसे पेशेंट जिनको डायबिटीज़ है, ऐसे पेशेंट्स जिनको थायराइड का इशू है, ऐसे पेशेंट्स जो स्मोकिंग करते हैं, ऐसे पेशेंट्स जिनका अल्कोहल और टोबैको स्मोकिंग, सिगरेट स्मोकिंग, all our patients are at risk of osteoporosis. Those patients who are taking some medication for Parkinsonism, those patients who are taking medication for blood pressure as well as ischemic heart diseases, those patients who are taking treatment for cancer, those people are at risk of osteoporosis. Those patients who are very lean are also at the risk of osteoporosis. So in and all, we divide these things into modifiable risk factor and non-modifiable risk factors. Modifiable means those things we can modify. One of the modifiable risk factor is nutrition. Having proper diet, having proper nutrition is one of the most important modifiable risk factor. Treatment of diabetes, hyperthyroidism, what else is Parkinsonism. If we keep it at optimum, patients do get better in treatment of osteoporosis. The non-modifiable risk factor being age, we cannot stop getting older and we cannot change gender. The second thing is, being Asian and African population, we are at somewhat lesser risk of getting osteoporosis. That is also a risk factor. Being a European or white race, they are at more risk for getting osteoporosis.
Okay, sir. So, why perimenopausal and postmenopausal women at risk of osteoporosis?
Yes. So, as we know, women do have menstrual periods. Menstrual period is usually of 28 days to 30 days in an average lady. Those menstruation or that menstruation is because of some hormonal changes which are occurring into the body. Those hormones, particularly called as estrogen and progesterone, both are helpful for getting your bone mass at right place. During perimenopausal women, what happens? There is irregularity into the periods. Some do not have periods, some take long time to have period. There is decreased bleeding, there is sometimes increased bleeding. So that is a period of hormonal imbalance, and after setting of menopause, these hormones are almost at negligible levels in female body. So the bone starts decaying very fast, and on the other hand, we should say that bone do not form at the right pace. That's why they lose their bone mass at very fast rate, and that's why getting menopause or at the menopausal age is one of the important time of female's age which causes osteoporosis. They that find a drastic change into their bone mass index. I would like to show you one image. Can you show this? This is one of the important image which I always show to my patients, that if you concentrate this as a bone mass, a total bone mass, there are a few people who are putting something into that bone, and there are people who are taking out the part of bone. The same thing is on this side. So let's see, this is a yellow, blue color, and this is a pink color. So if people who are pouring into bone are more, and if people pouring out of the bone is less, then there will be gradual increase into bone mass. On opposite side, if the people pouring into the bone is less, and some conditions where the bone is losing out fast is the conditions causes less bone mass or osteoporosis. In our body, bone is constantly formed and constantly degenerated or decayed. There is a balance in between bone formation and bone resolution. This is called as bone remodeling. If at any time the bone formation is less and bone decaying or bone resolution is more, that causes decreased bone mass, and that is the area, particularly in females during menopause, this loss which is inhibited by estrogen is stopped. So there is these people at risk where estrogen is not having check into this. There is more bone loss which and less bone formation which causes osteoporosis.
Okay, sir. We have next question. Is there any way to prevent osteoporosis in adolescent and childbearing age group?
Yes, this was one of the question asked by my society member. She is a banker. She's around 45 to 50 age group.
Okay.
And she is having her child which is at 16 years. Understanding of osteoporosis, she asked me that is there anything which she can avoid or is there anything which her child can avoid. So there is a concept called as peak bone mass. Either male or female will achieve their maximum bone mass density during age of 20 years, 18 to 20 years. Sometimes in females it is even more, 20 to 22 years. Males not having menstruation are not at risk of that constant change, but females, when their menstruation is set in around 18 to 20 years, which is regular, which roughly goes around 40 to 45 years, there is, with each and every menstrual cycle, there is change into bone mass, which has been observed from many studies. So if we can do something that to have a maximum bone mass around 20 to 22 years, if we keep something better, that bone mass in that period of reproductive age, by having a proper menstruation, having proper menstrual hygiene, taking care of your menstrual health, understanding the problem which are occurring into menstrual health, having a proper having a proper menstrual cycle with the help of gynecologist, we can have a proper bone mass till the menopause setting. So it is like a salary. If we have a good amount of salary when we retire, and after retirement there is no source of income, there is more money loss which is occurring after retirement. So we see menopause as retirement of menstrual cycle, retirement of bone formation, retirement of bone conservation. After menopause, bone decay or bone loss is very fast because of loss of menstrual hormones. That's why if those patients around say 20 to 20 years, 20 to 25 years, those patients in childbearing age group, if they maintain their good health, if they indulge into a good physical activity, which are weight bearing activities, if they have a proper nutrition, if they can avoid their problems in menstruation, if they avoid excessive smoking, if they avoid having thyroid and other issues, or if they treat it properly, the mass which will be there at age of 40 to 45 where menopause set in, will be a better mass from which we will lose. So they will have a lesser risk of developing osteoporosis.
ओके सर, आपके एक पेशेंट पूछ रहे हैं कि ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस के सिम्टम्स क्या होते हैं?
Yeah, so it's a very nice question. If we see how osteoporosis presents, osteoporosis doesn't present with anything. Osteoporosis अभी शायद मेरे इसमें हो रहा होगा, osteoporosis में भी एक 40 से 50 साल के लेडी में अभी हो रहा होगा, इट इज़ अ साइलेंट डिसीज़। ये तब तक हमें समझ में नहीं आता है जब तक कोई ऑस्टियोपोरोटिक फ्रैक्चर ना हो जाए, या इफ़ समबडी इज़ वेरी कीन, if his family physician is very keen, and if that family physician finds out some risk factor, we can definitely screen the patient for osteoporosis, and we can have some investigation to be done for osteoporosis. But as such, there is no direct symptoms of osteoporosis. In older age people, as the age advances, we do see some patients drooping forward. We do see that those patients are losing their bone mass or losing their weight. Losing their height is also one of the important factor to understand that patient might have some osteoporosis or osteoporosis related some complication like fractures. And any decreased or increased fragility is one of the symptom of osteoporosis, but that's set in very late. Osteoporosis is an ongoing process. It gives symptoms at some or other time, but it is ongoing, it's a silent thing.
ओके सर। सर, तो आपने जैसे बताया कि फ्रैक्चर्स होने के बाद पता चलता है कि वी
जी।
डू हैव ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस। सर, तो कौन से ऐसे कॉमन फ्रैक्चर्स है जो ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस पेशेंट में पाए जाते हैं?
ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस फ्रैक्चर्स और ऑस्टियोपोरोटिक फ्रैक्चर्स बहुत बार ओल्ड एज में होने वाले फ्रैक्चर्स आर मोर और लेस बिकॉज ऑफ ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस व्हाट वी से। फ्रॅक्चर नेक ऑफ फीमर और ज्याला आपण खुब्यामध्ये होणारं फ्रॅक्चर म्हणतो, या हिप जॉइंट में होने वाला फ्रैक्चर इज यूजुअली ऑस्टियोपोरोटिक फ्रैक्चर अनलेस प्रूव्ड अदरवाइज। बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स में वर्टिब्रल कॉलम में फ्रैक्चर्स होते हैं, वर्टिब्रल बॉडी में फ्रैक्चर्स होते हैं, दोज आर ऑस्टियोपोरोटिक टाइप ऑफ फ्रैक्चर्स। बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स को रिस्ट जॉइंट में फ्रैक्चर्स होते हैं, दोज आर ऑस्टियोपोरोटिक टाइप ऑफ फ्रैक्चर्स। There can be any other fracture which can be because of osteoporosis. We do suspect these fractures are because of osteoporosis when you have very small or trivial fall. अगर falling का velocity या velocity of injury is not too high, and if we see that fracture is a bigger or major fracture, then we do suspect it as a osteoporotic fracture.
ओके सर। सो कोई ऐसी स्पेसिफिक मेथड है जिससे हम डायग्नोस कर पाए ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस को सर?
Yes. So if we think of screening the patient for osteoporosis, we screen it for bone mineral density, or what is commonly called as DEXA scan. In Jupiter Hospital, we have the latest variety of DEXA scan. DEXA scan is dual emission or dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. There are other things, or there are other modalities where we can diagnose, or where we can find out what is the bone mineral density of the patient. Another thing is based on USG or sonography based. Those are most commonly available at the community levels where many camps are taking place. These are mobile things, but the DEXA scan is most sophisticated, most accurate, and most specific for obtaining bone mineral density. The bone mineral density by DEXA scan are taken from three main places. One is through vertebra, one is around the hip joint, and one is around the wrist, because these are the most common fractures which are seen in osteoporosis. इन तीनों जगह पे से डेक्सा स्कैन लेते हैं और उसका एक स्कोर बनाया जाता है। आपके बॉडी में कितना बोन मिनरल डेंसिटी है विच इज़ कंपेयर्ड टू द डाटा विच इज़ अवेलेबल फॉर 30 ईयर्स ऑफ एज ग्रुप के पर्सनस के लिए, और उसमें मैच किया जाता है। उसमें जो मैच करने के बाद जो स्कोर आता है, जिसको हम टी स्कोर बोलते हैं, दैट टी स्कोर जो स्कोर आता है उसके हिसाब से पेशेंट का बोन मिनरल डेंसिटी नॉर्मल है या ऑस्टियोपेनिया है या ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस है, ये हमें पता चलता है। मैं आपको जस्ट एक इमेज दिखाता हूँ। बोन मिनरल डेंसिटी का रिपोर्ट आपको इस तरीके से मिलता है। ये ग्राफ रहता है और इस साइड में टी स्कोर दिया हुआ रहता है. दिस इज डन फॉर वर्टिब्रल साइड, दिस इज डन फॉर हिप साइड, राइट एंड लेफ्ट, एंड दे गिव अ स्पेसिफिक टी स्कोर फॉर ईच एंड एवरी पार्ट. इन तीनों में से जिसका भी कम आया वो टी स्कोर पकड़ा जाता है यूजुअली. So if that standard deviation or t-score is -1 or above 0, 1, -1, then it is a normal bone. If the score is between -1 to -2.5, then it is called as osteopenia. And if the score is at the red, which is lesser than -2.5 standard deviation, then it is called as definitive osteoporosis. मतलब आपको osteoporosis 100% है. आपको ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस 100% है, मतलब आपको फ्रैक्चर का रिस्क भी ज़्यादा है. सो दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट सोफिस्टिकेटेड, मोस्ट एक्यूरेट, मोस्ट स्पेसिफिक मेथड ऑफ डायग्नोसिंग ऑस्टियोस्पोरोसिस.
जी सर, तो कौन से ऐसे पेशेंट्स हैं जिनको ये टेस्ट करना चाहिए, और या तो सबको ही ये टेस्ट कर सकते हैं?
आइडियली हम सबको ये टेस्ट कर सकते हैं, बट WHO और मेनी अदर ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस फाउंडेशंस जो है वर्ल्ड वाइड, इंडिया में भी, दे हैव सम रिकमेंडेशन कि कौन से पेशेंट को ये टेस्ट किया जाए. ये टेस्ट थोड़ा सा कॉस्टली रहता है, इसमें थोड़ा सा एक्सरे एक्सपोजर होता है, इसलिए हम सबको टेस्ट नहीं करवाना चाहिए. दोज पेशेंट्स हु आर एट रिस्क, जो हमने बोला था कि रिस्क, कोई पेशेंट जो रिस्क में है, उन पेशेंट्स ने ये टेस्ट डेफिनेटली करवाना चाहिए. वी डू रिकमेंड कि दोज पेशेंट्स हु आर इन पेरीमेनोपॉजल एज 40 to 45 ईयर्स में है, उन्होंने एक बार ये टेस्ट करवा सकते हैं. अगर आपको डायबिटीज़ है, थायराइड है, पार्किंसंस है, या आपके फैमिली में किसी को ऑस्टियोपोरोटिक फ्रैक्चर हुआ था, या आपके फैमिली में ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस था, तो ये टेस्ट आप ज़रूर करवा सकते हो. ये टेस्ट होने के बाद हमें पता चलता है कि कितना बोन मिनरल डेंसिटी है. उसके हिसाब से एवरी ईयरली टू 2 ईयरली हम ये टेस्ट रिपीट करके देख सकते हैं इफ़ वी आर ट्रीटिंग इट. नोबडी रिकमेंड्स हाउ फ्रीक्वेंटली वी शुड डू दिस, बट many people recommend that we should not repeat this test before 1 year. So every 1 year we can do this test for those patients who are on treatment, or at the age of 40 to 45 years एक test, around 50 to 55 years एक test, or 5 yearsly एक test if patient is getting treatment of osteoporosis, or if they have a risk of osteoporosis. So definitely perimenopausal women should do this test, or at the menopause patient should do this test. Any patient around 50 should do this test. Any patient are having diabetes, hypertension, Parkinson's should do this test. Any patient who is undergoing for cancer therapy should do this test. These tests are done for these patients.
Yes sir. So
many patients हमें ऑस्टियोपोरोटिक फ्रैक्चर लेने के बाद, ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस फ्रैक्चर होके आते हैं, दे गेट ट्रीटमेंट, एंड देन दे आस्क कि हम बोन मिनरल डेंसिटी टेस्ट कर सकते हैं क्या. उन पेशेंट्स में हम बोन मिनरल डेंसिटी टेस्ट या डेक्सा स्कैन कर सकते हैं, बट जब हमें पता है कि ये फ्रैक्चर इज बिकॉज ऑफ ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस, आवर टी स्कोर विल बी एनी वे बिलो लेस देन 2.5. सो we do not advocate for those patients who are having osteoporosis. We usually think that it is a osteoporosis and start the treatment.
So what are the methods of preventing osteoporosis, sir?
So methods of preventing osteoporosis सबका important question है कि आगे जाके हमें osteoporosis ना हो, या हमारे बोन, हमारी हड्डियाँ अच्छी रहे, हड्डियों की ताकत अच्छी रहे, तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए. जैसे हमने पहले भी बात की, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट इज़ योर न्यूट्रिशन. आपको एडिक्वेट कैल्शियम, विटामिन डी, प्रोटीन, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स लेने चाहिए. आपको सीडेंटरी लाइफस्टाइल नहीं रहना चाहिए. इफ़ योर प्रोफेशन इज आस्किंग फॉर योर सीडेंटरी लाइफस्टाइल, इफ यू हैव टू सिट फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम, you have to have a regular exercise, which should be a weight bearing exercise at least 3 to 4 times in a week. Try to avoid stress, try to avoid malnutrition. बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स को अपचन जैसा प्रॉब्लम रहता है. ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट दैट. मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट एज वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट वुमेन्स हेल्थ, उनका मेंस्ट्रुअल हेल्थ भी नॉर्मल होना चाहिए. दोज पेशेंट्स हु आर हैविंग प्रॉब्लम, they should definitely visit to gynecologist, sort out their problem. They are the best people who take care of menstrual problems. We should definitely not have too much of smoking. Excessive alcohol should be avoided. Or those patients who are on treatment of Parkinson's and cancer, they should regularly visit to the doctors, physician, probably endocrinologist, to have your calcium and vitamins checked so that they should have a proper homeostasis.
सर मुझे ये पर्सनली जानना था कि जैसे कि 45 एज के बाद ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस होने के चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं, और यदि वो फीमेल यदि स्पोर्ट्स में है या काइंड ऑफ एक्टिविटी जो एक्सेसिव ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं, अग्रेसिव है स्पोर्ट्स में, तो उनके लिए कोई सजेशन होगा आपके पास?
दो चीज़ें हैं इसमें. इफ़ पेशेंट इज़ अराउंड 45, they should understand what is their menstrual cycle. Whether it is normal, then it is good. If it is not so normal, they should definitely find a gynecologist and see whether they can do anything for that. Regarding sports and all, we do not want excessive bone mineral density for sports, but being sporty, being athletic, or having exercise which are weight bearing, definitely help them to have a good bone mineral density or good bone mass. A lean body mass, जो पेशेंट बहुत पतले हैं, बहुत सारे पेशेंट want to lose the weight, but the good factor for osteoporosis is having more weight. Okay. This is because, which is called as Fox law in orthopedics, कि जो हमने बात किया था बोन मॉडलिंग एंड रीमॉडलिंग में, बोन रीमॉडलिंग ऑकर्स एट द लाइन ऑफ स्ट्रेसेस. जितना स्ट्रेस आपको हड्डियों को या आपके मसल्स को मिलेगा, हड्डियों में से वो मसल्स में से वो स्ट्रेस ट्रांसफर्स टू बोन, और उस एरिया का बोन ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग होता जाएगा. सो इफ़ यू आर एथलीट और इफ़ यू आर मोर इन्वॉल्व इन टू स्पोर्टिंग एक्टिविटीज़, इट इज़ गुड फॉर देम टू हैव दोज फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज़. Over that, they should concentrate that they are having balanced diet, they take adequate amount of calcium, and they take adequate amount of vitamin D. Yes. And try not to have too much of smoking. Those things are more important.
What should be daily calcium intake as per age wise?
So WHO recommends daily calcium intake, or recommended daily allowance of the calcium varies according to age group. Up to 18 to 20 years, it should be 1000 milligram per day. Patients from 20 to say 50 should have at least 1200 milligram per day, and beyond 50 for women and beyond 70 for males should be around 1300 to 1500, because they want more calcium, they need more calcium. Those patients who are pregnant, or those patients who are lactating, those patients who are feeding to their babies, they require more calcium. That the calcium requirement for those period goes to 1300 to 1800 milligram per day. So you should not take only calcium, but you should find out the dietary calcium supplement rather than medical or drug calcium supplement. So you should have more of dietary calcium supplement, or those foods which are rich into calcium should be taken daily.
सर, तो हमारे एक व्यूअर हैं मिस चारू, वो पूछना चाहते हैं कि विच टैबलेट्स टू टेक कैल्शियम एंड विटामिन्स के लिए, और पोस्ट 35 एज है और उनके लिए how much we should take or when to take.
Yeah, so we have got the right question at the right time. As we are discussing, if you need 35, you need at least 1000 to 1200 milligram of calcium per day. The maximum should come from diet. It should not from the medicine. If she is very keen, she should definitely visit our nutritionist. She should calculate diet for you, and those supplements or those food which are high rich in calcium are milk related products, cheese, yogurt, fruits, eggs. They should definitely have these things. Always, also some non-veg products. They should have these things regularly into diet, so that they should not be malnutrition, or they should be a proper supplement of calcium. If they want to have tablets, they can take any tablet which is available over the counters. Calcium tablets mainly into calcium carbonate salt or calcium citrate salt. They can take 1 calcium per day without any problem.
ओके सर, आपके एक पेशेंट है जो पूछ रहे हैं कि रीनल स्टोन है यदि उनको, तो कितना कैल्शियम सप्लीमेंट उनको लेना चाहिए?
यस, जैसे हमने बताया कि WHO, इंटरनेशनल ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस फाउंडेशन, इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मेडिसिन, these people have had some their studies where calcium supplements are taken for those patients who are having renal stone, those who are not having renal stone. So they have come up with some recommendation, or they have come up with some finding that if you have a renal stone and if your dietary calcium is more, there is no risk of having more renal stone or renal problem. You should definitely decrease the intake of calcium supplements in a medicine form, so that you should not have a problem of renal stone. Calcium supplements or calcium supplements which are available on the counter or in any medical shops, they usually are of 3 or 4 variety or 3 or 4 composition. They are basically a calcium salt. So one is calcium carbonate, one is calcium citrate, or this one called as calcium citrate and maleate, one calcium gluconate, calcium aspartate. There are many things. There are 4 to 5 things are there. Now there are some coral calcium, or there are some eggshell calcium, but the best thing available is calcium carbonate. And if we take a 500 milligram of calcium carbonate tablet, there is a concept called as elemental calcium. When we take 600 milligram or 500 milligram of calcium tablet, it doesn't mean that we take 500 milligram of calcium. So calcium carbonate gives usually 40% of elemental calcium. So if we take a 600 milligram of calcium carbonate tablet, we get only 230 to 240 milligram of elemental calcium, which is absorbed and goes into your circulation. So 1 tablet in a day is okay, provided you have a good dietary supplement of calcium and vitamin D. And those patients who are having stone, we recommend calcium citrate maleate preparation for those who are having renal stone. We have found that there are many studies who says that taking calcium citrate maleate supplementation as a calcium supplement are not harmful, even those patients who are having renal stone. Okay?
Yes, sir. So which calcium tablets are best, sir? And
Yeah,
available?
so as we
what-
discussed,
yes.
the same questions what we have discussed is calcium carbonate, calcium citrate maleate, calcium gluconate, calcium aspartate. Out of those, calcium carbonate is mostly used, and calcium citrate maleate is another commonly used preparation. Many patients, you might be getting some question for when should we take tablet, whether it is in morning, whether during meal, whether post meal, or on empty stomach. So this depends on which type of preparation, calcium preparation you are taking. अगर आप calcium carbonate लेते हो तो you should take it along with food. Either immediately food के before ले लीजिए या food के immediately बाद ले लीजिए. Calcium citrate maleate, these tablets, calcium carbonate का जो preparation है, it is unstable when there is an acidic environment. सो आप जब खाना खाते हो तो आपकी एसिडिटी कम रहती है और उसमें ये सोल्यूशन ये प्रिपरेशन स्टेबल रहता है। एंड ये हम ज़्यादा क्यों एडवोकेट करते हैं, बिकॉज इट गिव्स 40% ऑफ एलिमेंटल कैल्शियम। सो वी नीड नॉट टू टेक मल्टीपल कैल्शियम टैबलेट्स इन अ डे। एक टैबलेट दिन में पूरी होती है। इफ़ यू आर टेकिंग कैल्शियम सिट्रेट मैलिएट फॉर दोज पेशेंट जो बहुत बिजी रहते हैं, सुबह सुबह उनको जाना रहता है, दे डू नॉट टेक देयर ब्रेकफास्ट, या रात को लेट आते हैं, या उनका फूड हैबिट इज़ नॉट प्रॉपर, उन जैसे पेशेंट्स को, या दोज पेशेंट्स हु आर हैविंग रीनल स्टोन, वी एडवोकेट टू टेक calcium citrate maleate preparation that is not what to say acidity dependent, so you can take that thing at any time in a day, जब आपको याद आए आप ले सकते हो। और those patients who are on treatment of acidity, we advocate calcium citrate preparations.
तो सर हमारे एक व्यूअर है अभी विशु जी, उनका एक क्वेश्चन है रिगार्डिंग विटामिन डी।
Okay.
सो हाउ मच सन एक्सपोजर वी नीड टू compensate
Yeah.
with
So-
our vitamin D's requirement?
Yes. By and large, vitamin D is mainly synthesized into our body. हमें भगवान ने इतना दिया होता है कि अगर हम कुछ भी ना अलग से खाए तो विटामिन डी एंड विटामिन B12 का सप्लीमेंट हमें बहुत रहता है, इफ़ वी हैव अ प्रॉपर सन एक्सपोजर। बहुत सारे स्टडीज़ के मुताबिक, बहुत सारे ऑब्जर्वेशंस के मुताबिक, डेली सन एक्सपोजर शुड बी मिनिमम 25 to 30 मिनट्स। बहुत सारे लोग हमें ये भी पूछते हैं कि मॉर्निंग सन एक्सपोजर चाहिए, इवनिंग सन एक्सपोजर चाहिए, या आफ्टरनून का सन एक्सपोजर चाहिए। But there is no consensus of any studies that you should have a morning sun exposure or evening sun exposure. Any in a day, at a stretch or in different part, minimum 30 minutes of sun exposure should be there, along with the proper diet.
सर तो हम लोगों को ये जानना था कि ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस के ट्रीटमेंट पार्ट में हम क्या कंसीडर कर सकते हैं?
सो ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस का ट्रीटमेंट पार्ट मेनली दो चीज़, वन इज मेनली टू इम्प्रूव डाइट एंड लुक देर इज़ नो माल एब्जॉर्प्शन और नो माल न्यूट्रिशन। सेकेंड इज कैल्शियम सप्लीमेंट्स, विटामिन डी सप्लीमेंट्स, एंड देर आर अदर मेडिकल drugs which are used for osteoporosis, particularly those patients like postmenopausal osteoporosis. There are some estrogen agonist, antagonist, or estrogen related hormonal therapy which we give for patients. some bisphosphonates करके कुछ medications है जो कभी कभी हम हफ्ते में एक बार देने के लिए बोलते हैं या महीने में एक बार देने के लिए बोलते हैं। कुछ नेज़ल स्प्रे अवेलेबल है जिनसे कैल्शियम डिपोजिशन ज़्यादा होता है, जिसको हम कैल्सिटोनिन स्प्रे बोलते हैं। There are few new drugs which are available, which are very strong, but they are costly. But I would recommend to our viewers and to our patients that do not take vitamin D and calcium without anything else rather than vitamin D and calcium on your own. So that you should consult with your either orthopedic surgeon, physician, endocrinologist, your gynecologist. If they feel that you need a further treatment, they will advocate it accordingly.
यस सर। सो हमारे सारे ही पेशेंट के सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स आपने सही से एड्रेस किए हुए हैं।
Thank you.
सर एनी समरी यू वुड लाइक टू गिव अस सर?
Main thing is prevention of osteoporosis. Though we may not be very successful for that, but there are few things which are in our hand, that having proper nutrition, proper physical activity, which is most important thing, vitamin D and calcium intake, avoiding something which causes less calcium like smoking and alcohol, and some drugs which should be avoided in your treatment, and what to say is हम ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस पूरा तो नहीं अवॉइड कर सकते, लेकिन हम ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस की होने की वजह से जो होने वाले जो कॉम्प्लिकेशन है वो दो शुड बी अवॉइडेड। The most important thing which should be avoided is fall of the patient. पेशेंट या ओल्ड एज जो पेशेंट है या ओल्ड एज जो लेडी है, उनका गिरने की संभावना कम करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि WHO, इंडिया इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस, all those things, all those institutes are saying that you should avoid fall rather than treating osteoporotic fractures. हमें घर में, सोसाइटी में, बाहर, एज अ गवर्नमेंट पार्ट, वी शुड सी दैट पेशेंट शुड नॉट हैव एनी चांस ऑफ फॉल. हम इसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं कि घर में स्लीपरी थिंग्स शुड बी अवॉइडेड. जहाँ पे ओल्ड एज पीपल रहते हैं वहाँ का रूम क्लीन रखना है. वहाँ पे उनके मेडिकेशंस एट देयर ईज से मिलेंगे, आसानी से मिलेंगे, ऐसी जगह पे रखना है. उनके घर में, उनके रूम में कुछ भी अंधेरा जैसा नहीं रहना चाहिए. जब भी वो सो रहे होंगे, जब वो रात को अगर उठते हैं तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए. उसमें एडिक्वेट लाइट रहना चाहिए. Most of the people what we see, those osteoporotic patients come with a fracture, they fall into their bathroom. तो बाथरूम में चिकनाहट नहीं रहनी चाहिए. बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स अगर बाथटब यूज़ करते हैं, बहुत सारे पेशेंट्स बाथटब में भी गिर के फ्रैक्चर होके आते हैं, तो बाथटब में भी चिकनाहट नहीं रहनी चाहिए. We can use some commercial mats which are anti-slippery mats which are available so that they should not fall. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ हमें करनी चाहिए कि टॉयलेट्स में, बाथटब के आसपास ग्रैबिंग बार लगाने चाहिए, ताकि पेशेंट्स को अगर गिरने की संभावना हो तो पेशेंट्स कैन बैलेंस देमसेल्व्स. सोसाइटी के स्टेयर केसेस should have railings, proper holding material so that patient should not fall. They should have bigger lift. हमने बहुत सारी बार देखा है कि शाम को या मॉर्निंग में बहुत सारा सीनियर एज ग्रुप एक जगह पे बैठता है, तो सोसाइटी से बाहर निकलते वक्त या आपके बिल्डिंग से बाहर निकलते वक्त बहुत बड़ी बड़ी सीढ़ियाँ नहीं होनी चाहिए. स्टेयर शुड बी एडिक्वेट. इफ़ यू कैन अवॉइड स्टेयर्स दैट इज़ द बेस्ट. रैम्प अगर आप करते हो तो उसको होल्डिंग बार होना चाहिए. रैम्प वापस घिस के गिर जाएंगे ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. जहाँ पे ये लोग बैठते हैं, जहाँ पे वॉकिंग एरिया होता है, ट्राई टू अवॉइड सोसाइटी व्हीकल्स इनटू दैट एरिया सो दैट देयर इज़ लेस चांस ऑफ फॉल. वो जहाँ पे चलते हैं, अगर वहाँ पे ग्रास है, बहुत सारी बार हमने देखा है कि ग्रास रहता है और उसके ऊपर एक सिंगल टाइल लगी रहती है, देयर इज़ हाई चांस of that people falling over there. So ये सब चीज़ें should be avoided. Avoidance of fall is the best to avoid osteoporosis fracture. Best to avoid osteoporosis is to have a proper health. For those patients in postmenopausal age group should have a proper diet and proper physical activity. That should be the thing.
Yes sir. हमारे एक व्यूअर हैं आशा जी, वो पूछ रहे हैं कि 60+ वालों को क्या करना चाहिए. बट आई थिंक आपके
वी हैव हमने ये सब कुछ उन्होंने हम ऑलरेडी बोल चुके हैं, लेकिन उनके लिए हम वापस एक बार बोलेंगे कि आपका न्यूट्रिशन अच्छा रहना चाहिए. प्रॉपर कैल्शियम और विटामिन डी आपने लेना चाहिए. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट इज़ फिजिकल एक्टिविटी. सम सॉर्ट ऑफ फिजिकल एक्टिविटी लाइक मॉर्निंग वॉक, इवनिंग वॉक, basic yoga, weight bearing exercises they should definitely do at least 3 to 4 times in a week. अगर उनको डायबिटीज़ है, ब्लड प्रेशर है, उनका ट्रीटमेंट उन्होंने प्रॉपरली रखना चाहिए. उनका डायबिटीज़ और ब्लड प्रेशर हमेशा रेगुलर रखना चाहिए. जैसे हमने अभी लास्ट टाइम बोला कि ट्राई टू अवॉइड फॉल. वो 60 है, शी माइट बी इन अ पोस्टमेनोपॉजल एज ग्रुप. She is at the risk of having osteoporosis, so she should avoid fall. जहाँ पे जितनी चीज़ें हमें कम रखनी चाहिए घर में, बाहर, वो सब try to avoid fall इस डायरेक्शन में होना चाहिए. So these are the things they should do.
Alright sir.
Alright, I think we have given most of the information. If you want anything else or if you have some question और आपको अगर लगता है कि अरे हमें ये पूछना भूल गए हैं या कुछ करना या कुछ पूछना भूल गए और ये कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें और चाहिए, तो आप कमेंट में हमें लिख सकते हो. We will definitely try to solve your problem as early as possible.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much.
sir.